Welcome to Time Crackers. Let's save time together. I am the host. Let's start our journey. In a quiet village near a big forest lived four best friends. There was Emma, a brave and curious girl. Noah, a smart and logical boy. Sophie, a kind and caring girl who loved all living things. And there was also Jack, an energetic and funny boy who was always ready for action. They had an awesome tree house where they spent most of their time playing and having fun. But one evening everything changed. As the sun began to set and long shadows stretched across the ground, the friends were playing a game in their tree house when suddenly something strange happened. Right before their eyes, a glowing acorn fell from the sky. What is that? It's glowing, Emma said with wide eyes. Jack was the first to react. He quickly got up and walked over to where the acorn had landed. It has weird symbols on it, he said, turning it over in his hands. Just then, Tickles, a small but magical squirrel wearing a pocket watch around his neck, suddenly appeared on the windowsill. Hey, that's mine. You just activated the time crystal signal, he exclaimed, startled. Did that squirrel just talk? Sophie asked, her eyes wide with disbelief. Yes, I talk, Tickles replied, adjusting his pocket watch. And now you're chosen to save time itself. Woohoo! What do you mean save time? What are you talking about? Noah asked, confused. Tickles explained, the time crystal has shattered into 3 pieces. Without it, time will stop working. You must find the missing pieces before sunset or the world will freeze forever. Ho! Hurry up! He clapped his paws twice and a swirling purple portal opened up beside the treehouse. Here we go, Tickles said. The past, future and frozen time await. Remember, you have to hurry. After looking at each other for a few seconds, the friends nodded and jumped into the portal one by one. They found themselves in a lush green jungle full of giant plants and strange dino-like birds. This place looks like a million years ago, Emma said, amazed. The kids looked around them and realized they were in the past. Wow, Noah breathed. Suddenly, they heard a loud squawk. That doesn't sound friendly, Jack whispered, pulling out his sword. Let's stick together, Emma said, and they continued exploring. As they walked deeper into the jungle, they noticed a crystal piece stuck on top of a huge colorful flower. There it is, Sophie said, pointing. But how do we get it down? It's too high, Jack said. Looking around, Sophie spotted a vine hanging from a nearby tree. I can try climbing, she offered. Good idea, Sophie, Emma said, handing her a rope. Be careful, Noah added. As Sophie climbed the tree, the giant bird swooped down, trying to snatch the crystal piece. Got it, Sophie shouted, grabbing the shard just in the nick of time. They all cheered as she climbed down safely. They had retrieved the first shard, but 2 more adventures awaited them. The second shard in the distant future, and the final test in the frozen land of time itself. With the first shard in hand, the friends jumped into the portal again. It whirled them away to a dazzling city of the future filled with floating cars and friendly robots. I love this place, Noah exclaimed, gazing at a robot dog. Suddenly, the robot dog barked and nipped at his leg. Whoa, Noah yelped, taking off. Sorry, the dog barked again, tilting its head. He wants to play, a robot said, walking toward them. I'm Jack, Jack said, extending his hand. Nice to meet you, Jack, the robot replied, shaking his hand. I'm Beep. Wanna race your hoverboard? Sure, Jack said with a grin. Suddenly, Tickles squeaked. Focus, guys. The next shard is inside that robot museum guarded by laser puzzles and tricky traps. We have to hurry. Right, Jack said, realizing he'd been distracted. Let's go. They raced to the museum and slept inside. Wow, so many robots, Noah said, his eyes shining. Don't touch anything, Tickles squeaked. The lasers are triggered by movement. They crept through the maze, dodging laser beams and avoiding patrolling robots. Finally, they reached the second shard. Just then, an alarm blared. We're too late, Emma whispered. But then Noah stepped forward. Using his logic skills, he solved the laser puzzle, opening the way to the shard. They grabbed it and raced to the exit just as the doors closed. They had barely made it. Now they needed to find the final piece, and that meant facing their greatest fear. Together, they jumped into the portal. The swirling colors faded, and they found themselves in a strange, silent place. Everything was frozen mid-motion. Birds were frozen in the air. Waves stopped mid-splash, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. An enormous owl with feathers that shimmered like stars perched on a nearby branch. Greetings, travelers, the owl boomed. His voice echoed with wisdom and power. Who are you? Emma asked, her voice trembling slightly. I am Kronos, the guardian of time, the owl replied. You have come to the land of frozen time. Why have you come here? We're here to stop time from freezing, Noah said bravely. Kronos hooted softly. To restore the flow of time, you must prove yourselves worthy. Only those who act with kindness, courage and unity can repair what was broken. As Kronos spoke, a soft light emanated from him, revealing 3 shimmering crystals floating nearby. Each crystal posed with a different color: blue, representing kindness; green, representing courage; and yellow, representing unity. Suddenly, a gust of wind swirled around them, causing the crystals to rise and spin faster. What's happening? Jack asked, shielding his eyes against the bright flashes. You must choose a crystal, Kronos boomed over the din. Select the color that best represents your actions since arriving here. Without hesitation, the friends turned to each other. Emma, known for her compassion and empathy, reached out for the blue crystal. Noah, always a voice of reason and logic, chose a green crystal. Jack, whose loyalty and friendship knew no bounds, took the yellow crystal. They each held their chosen crystals aloft. The swirling wind gradually calmed, and the crystals began to glow brighter, forming a protective shield around them. You have shown the qualities of a true time hero, Kronos said, his voice echoing with approval. Now use the power of the crystals to heal the time crystal. Taking a deep breath, they walked towards the center of the clearing where the time crystal lay dormant. They formed a circle, each holding their crystal aloft. The crystals began to glow brightly, bathing the clearing in their combined light. Then, as if responding to an invisible signal, the 3 shards of the time crystal shot up from the ground and flew into the center of the circle. The friends watched in awe as the shards merged, reforming the complete time crystal. A surge of energy pulsed outwards, mending the frozen landscape and reigniting the frozen waterfall nearby. As time began to flow once more, the waterfall cascaded down, birds took to the skies, and the wind rustled through the trees. Time is safe, Kronos said, his voice filled with gratitude. Thank you, young heroes. Suddenly, Tickles interrupted. Oh, guys, I might have left the time portal slightly open, he said sheepishly. Whoops, Jack said with a grin, looking at his watch. Oh, my watch is running backward, he exclaimed. Tickles looked at his own pocket watch and gasped. Oh dear, we're losing time, he squeaked. They all laughed, knowing that their adventure wasn't over yet. The portal reappeared, swirling and beckoning them home. They jumped in, eager to see their treehouse again. Back in their treehouse, the friends sat together, reminiscing about their amazing adventure. They couldn't help but smile as they remembered their journey through time. Our greatest adventure through time has come to an end, Emma said, a hint of sadness in her voice. But remember, Tickles chirped, time is a river that flows ever onward. Our paths may diverge, but the bonds we've forged will endure. Until next time, keep being kind, brave and united. Who knows what new adventures await us in the grand tapestry of time? The friends nodded, their faces illuminated by the flickering lamplight. They knew that no matter where their adventures through time took them, their friendship would always guide them home. They were the time crackers, and they were ready for whatever time threw at them. The end.